Так, всем привет. И начнется пресс-конференция. И я закрою свой микрофон. То есть нас министр Урмас Рейнсеру, и он в самоизоляции, поэтому да, ее там нет. И Святлана Ціхханоўская. Так что послушайте. Да, это сейчас как раз прямая трансляция из Сталина.
Good morning to you all. Welcome to Tallinn, and welcome to everyone who is also joining us over the internet, because this press conference is live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube channels of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We really have an honor to welcome you in Tallinn today. The leader of Democratic Belarus, Svyatlana Ціхханоўskaya, she just had a meeting with Estonian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Urmas Reinsalu. And we start with brief statements from Minister and from Svyatlana Ціхханоўskaya, to be followed with questions. So please, Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear friends, honorable democratic leader of Belarus, dear Svyatlana Ціхханоўskaya. It is a truly privilege to receive you here today in Tallinn. And let me stress again that Estonian Republic, all Estonian people admire the bravery of the people of Belarus to stand for the rights to choose their path. And we have followed with great concern the massive violence what the Lukashenko regime has used against its own people. And my first message is that these persons who are guilty of such an illegal, massive use of violence against the peaceful protesters need to be taken into account. This responsibility is fully personal, and fulfilling illegal order against innocent civilians does not anyhow free from accountability. And my second message is clear, that people of Belarus deserve free and fair new elections, and this is the only and clear beginning of the peaceful political process of transformation. Today it is an important moment where Estonia is presiding over United Nations area format meeting on very important issue of media freedom in Belarus. And we are doing it together with France, Ireland, Norway, United Kingdom, United States, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Ukraine. And the first rapporteur will be indeed giving the view on the situation will be Madame Ціхханоўская, and also the rapporteurs will be Mr. Stanislav Ivaskevich, who is an investigative journalist and producer at Belsat TV, and he was also detained shortly before the presidential elections in Belarus and twice afterwards. Also, the briefer will be Mr. Gareth Brown, who is an award-winning freelance journalist who has been writing from the Times and the National, and last year he spent 3 months in Belarus reporting on the elections, and he was also arrested and forced to leave by the Belarus authorities. And also the floor is as rapporteurs taken by Madame Irene Khan, the UN Special Rapporteur on the promotion and protection of freedom of opinion. Let me stress, and also by Mr. Latushko as a rapporteur, who is ambassador and former Minister of Culture of Belarus and ambassador to France, and currently Mr. Latushko is a member of the Presidium of the Opposition Coordination Council. We today discussed with Madame Ціхханоўская about the current developments in Belarus. My understanding is it is for a Western community, for like-minded countries, it is very important to give a clear and sound response to what is happening in Belarus against the people of Belarus. And it is important also to keep a public global awareness on the situation on the ground. It is very important, and I'm going to raise on next Monday EU foreign ministers meeting that European Commission needs to have also a certain plan how to support with vaccines the Eastern Partnership countries in the future. And Svyatlana Ціхханоўская has made a pledge also towards European Union, and I think it needs also to get a proper answer. And we discussed also on the issues related to the additional need of additional sanctions. The Baltic countries have been in forehead of putting domestic sanctions to these people who are responsible for violence and falsification of election results. And we are going to continue with that policy, and I'm going to encourage also my as Baltic and European Union colleagues also to look after the fourth wave of sanctioning the officials who are guilty of violence. And Estonia has also supported around €1 million of civic society in Belarus. It's very important also to continue in a consistent manner support of Belarus democratic activities, free media, also these who have suffered personally from violence. And what is very important also is that I think, and I'm satisfied with the outcome that the hockey championship will take not place in Belarus. It would be, if it would be happen, it would be a fully wrong signal. So thank you very much indeed. I'm ready to answer a question, and truly welcome, and my personal respect to the brave leader of democratic forces in Belarus, Madame Svyatlana Ціхханоўская. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Renslau. Thank you. I came to Estonia only with the words of gratitude to leaders for your wonderful country, to the people who are supporting Belarusians in our really tough fight for our rights, for future free and safe and democratic Belarus. And I have to admit that Estonia was the first country that imposed sanctions on Belarus, on people who were guilty in atrocities, in falsification of elections, and Estonia became like pioneer in this question, and as example, and all the countries followed this example, and it's rather difficult to be the first. But we are really thanks for this strong position about Belarus. And Estonia has taken the leading role in raising the Belarusian agenda on the international level, and it's the second time that Estonia initiated the discussion on human rights in Belarus at the UN Security Council. And Estonia is continuing to support Belarus on international arena. And during our meeting with Mr. Renslau, it's my personal thank you for, I was honored to get Order of Merit for, it is written, for outstanding fight for freedom and being strong ally of Estonia. So it's my personal gratitude. Thank you so much. And else, we during our meeting, we discussed Belarusian diaspora in Estonia. We are really grateful to all the diasporas all over the world, and Estonia isn't an exclusion. It made a lot to support Belarusian people and Belarusian question here. And also we, yesterday when I was had a meeting with Belarusian diaspora, I was told that it's necessary to install monument of Belarus in Tallinn, and we discussed this question, and we were assured that this question will be discussed and assisted further. And also on the 7th of February there will be Day of Solidarity with Belarus, and Mr. Rainslau kindly assured us that he is going to participate in this day and to make something symbolic with Belarusian people on this day. So it was my pleasure to have this discussion, to meet. It's important for Belarusian people to show that you are with us. You are with us on this tough fight, and we need this support and this help, because we want to be like other democratic countries where people are respected, where people feel safe, and only together we will be able to move to this democratic way. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We have some time for questions. Do we have any questions from the journalists who are present here? No. So I have questions that have arrived online. And I start with a question from a regional news channel asking, the EU and other countries have imposed sanctions on Belarus. Do you see the sanctions having any effect on the authorities?
For sure they are, and it's important to put sanctions not only on high-rank people, because these people have already been several times on sanction list, and they just maybe started how to avoid these restrictions, or anyway they are, most of them are toxic in the world. They don't even want to leave the country. But what is important to put on this sanction list, judges, usual among workers who were beaten people, just people of just usual workers, because it's important for them to go abroad to buy something or to have rest somewhere, and it's necessary to put sanctions not only on these people but on maybe on the members of their families, for them to understand twice before doing some more crimes, that their children will not be able to go abroad to study or to have rest. They are extremely important. We are talking about personal sanctions.
Very good. So there is next question from Delphi, the news agency, from Karel Gressa. So he says, in August, there were reports of widespread torture of protesters. Is the regime currently showing more restraint, or are we simply not hearing about it? So in August, there were reports of torture of protesters, and now we hear it less. So is there less of torture and repressions, or we just don't hear about it?
I think that after the election day, the tortures were so evident. They were more like physical. Now, all those people who are in jails after the election day, and I have to admit that now it's about not about 178 political prisoners in jails, and about 1,000 who are still in jails for just without any guilt. But they every day in jail they are подвергаются пыткам. Will you help me? Sorry? Yes, suffering from tortures, and they are humiliated there. Mm-hmm. They are, they have no soap, they have no water. We know that COVID positive people are put in different cells to infect others, and it's everyday humiliation of people. They may be not being tortured physically very roughly, but it's innocent people who are sitting there, and they have to suffer from this attitude to them in jails just for nothing. Isn't it torture? It is.
There is a question to Urmas Reinsalu, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. What can West do more than just be concerned?
I think there are three main cornerstones to actions. The first is indeed to keep clear and consistent political position towards the events happening in Belarus. And as I said, the only solution, the only workable and fair solution is free and fair elections in Belarus. Secondly, it is therefore it needs to be raised in all international fora as possible. Secondly, it is important that West continues its sanctions policy. European Union as a center point of gravity, and I think also there is a need of transatlantic unity to cooperate with Canada, United States, United Kingdom, other countries with whom we have cooperated. And we need, if the violence and the unjustified arrests continue, we need also to enlarge the sanctions. Now European Union has managed to sanction 88 persons, individuals, and 7 companies. I think in both directions we have to enlarge the scope of sanctions. And the third pillar is a support of Belarus people. As I mentioned, the civic society, practical support about the vaccines, where Lukashenko regime, to my understanding and view, has failed to help its own people. And we need to work out also plans what will happen and how the Western countries, European countries, can support the Belarus society, Belarus state after the transformation takes place and the via political dialogue has found a path to get new free and fair elections, and how to help Belarus society then. And we need also a certain conference of Belarus friends, as we have we have had a good practice of Ukrainian friends support conference. And already now that brave people of Belarus would feel that there is a positive road to future. And what is very important, if to answer the question whether sanctions have worked or not, of course they have worked. They have given, I think they have fragiled Lukashenko regime people. And secondly, they have encouraged also the society of Belarus. If I'm not satisfied with the tempo European Union has achieved to the outcomes in sanctioning, but if there has no sanctions, I think it would mean that West European Union, we have morally failed.
Thank you. There is another question, quite straightforward, asking Svyatlana Ціхханоўская, will you be the next president of Belarus?
I took responsibility to be president on transitional period, but at the moment I'm not going to participate in next free and fair elections.
Okay. And a journalist wants to know that people in Belarus have been taking to the streets day after day since August. So do you see any sign of fatigue or increased fear of repressions? Are they going to give up soon, or will they continue?
No, despite of all this cruelty, despite of all the repressions and violence from this regime, people are not going to give up. For sure, people are continuing to struggle. Maybe the tactic is different now, and you have to understand it's winter, but people use every day to strengthen these structures, to work on connections, to work on international connections, to raise up the question of Belarus on international arena. And it's the will that will not be changed, the will of people for changes, for respect, for dignity, and for sure people will stay strong till our victory.
Thank you. Are there more questions from the room? If not, we are finished with our press conference, and I invite everyone to join us at 4 o'clock for a UN Security Council informal area meeting on Belarus media freedom. Thank you.
Короче, да, такой был пресс-конференция в Таллине на английском языке. Так. Я, к сожалению, да, следил все телефоном, потому что пришлось заниматься с внуком еще. И да, слышал, что это заканчивался. И заканчиваю свой стрим. Всем пока и спасибо, что следили. Пока всем. Удачи. Да.